Hi, welcome to That's Normal for Your Age, where two friends get together and talk about midlife and going through perimenopause and menopause and all the unknowns and knowns in between. I'm Amy, and
I'm
this is
Jen.
Jen. And today we're going to talk about how do you know you are in perimenopause? How do you diagnose, or how are you diagnosed of, being in perimenopause? So,
Yeah.
do you want to touch on that, Jen? You're the health coach here. I feel like you have more expertise than I do, even though, I'm living it, just like the
You're
rest of
living it.
us.
It's lived expertise. Yeah. Well, and that's pretty much where it stems from. I mean, that's how we really know anything because there really haven't been that many studies. They're only just getting into it and getting started on learning more and more about women's health and all of the ups and downs that come along with that. So that's why we're here to have these conversations and just help people not feel quite as alone. And yeah, how do we know? I don't know about you. Are you getting like a running like Whitney Houston? Like, how do I know? I think we need to do like a like a parody. If it's really Perry. Yeah, nobody wants to hear me sing that song. Um, but yeah, all we know is when certain symptoms kind of start to line up, and if you're at a certain age, that's pretty much it. There's no blood test. There's no official diagnosis of perimenopause. Menopause is a little bit more specific, but it only really deals with one day in time. Yeah, so there will never be an official test to tell you if you're actually in perimenopause. It's really just that age, which is usually on average around 35, 37, about 7 to 10 years before the actual date of menopause, which is considered only one specific date, which is 12 months without a period. And so, as we know, we can have more frequent periods, we can have less frequent periods. So, sometimes that time kind of goes back and forth. I've had clients before that's like, I've gone 11 months with no period, and then here I have my period. So now what? Where am I at? So it's for me, it's interesting because I always have to like double check. Are you officially? It's been over 12 months since you had your last period, correct? Not that it really changes a whole lot because once that date happens, it doesn't mean flash all of a sudden your hot flashes are gone, your mood swings are gone, and everything's just like cherry sunshine. You still are kind of navigating that because all of this is leading up to, it's all fluctuations in your hormones. It's all diminished estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, and so it's how does your body deal with that, adapt to it?
Right. And then what I was, because okay, the reason I started this whole conversation is I had a conversation with my sister and had a conversation with my husband. Of course, my husband's like, have you been, because my sisters and I are pretty close in age. We're like 3 and 6 years apart. So since I'm 50, they're just a few years younger each. And so we're all in that age range um, of perimenopause and hopefully menopause someday. Um, as if it's a finish line. But like you said, it's not. But my husband's like, well, how is it that all of you have it? Like, if it's a disease, like it's not a disease. I'm trying to like,
Oh,
it's not a um, disorder, or it's not like like if you have like autoimmune or something like that. It's not something
yeah.
you can be diagnosed with. And he of course, being not educated about it, and I don't know how to educate him other than here, read this, and they don't want to read that. That's not something that they're interested in. But I can just tell them every day all the symptoms I'm going through, and it just makes me look crazier, and it makes me look like I'm falling apart, and like he's like, well, how do any of you know that you're actually in perimenopause if a doctor didn't diagnose you? And I was like, it's not something that doctors diagnose. It's not something that any of them will even I mean, not in my experience anyway. Any doctors will even like definitively tell you or say you're in perimenopause. In fact, most of them don't even use the word, don't even really want to talk about it too much
Yeah,
because they don't have the expertise, because they don't really study it too much, and I'm
they
talking more
haven't.
like general practitioners. And then OBGYNs, they go by hormones. Like they'll do the hormone panel
Yeah.
and be like, well, you're within normal range, which of course our hormones fluctuate so much that it depends on when you're tested if it'll show a
Yeah.
decline or a deficiency in some kind of hormone. Unless there are some women who have like severe hormone deficiencies that will show up on a test if they're lucky. And then they'll get the treatment, some kind of treatment that they need. But, you know, how do we get the treatment that we need? How do we convince others around us that aren't in our bodies living it
Yeah.
that this is
And
like
that's
a
a
real
ridiculous
thing?
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to convince people of anything, right? That's weird. It's like, because then you kind of start to get into this mode where it's like, yeah, this really sucks. When I deal with it on a daily basis, this really sucks. I'm feeling the hot flashes come on. I'm feeling the mood swings, literally dropping on my face and feeling like I can't like get myself up. And 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 then when we have to go and talk to someone else, it's like, well, maybe it wasn't so bad. It's like, well, did you die? No, I didn't die. I kept
Yeah.
going and I
Like now
figured
you're
out I still
gaslighting
had to
yourself.
pick up and yeah, exactly. And that's kind of the problem with all of this.
Yeah.
And not to like throw shame or anything like that on any doctors. They didn't study it. They didn't study it for like more than just, hey, this is something that happens. And that's actually a good thing to mention too. Every single ovary owner will go through menopause. If they are trans and started with ovaries, they will still go through it.
Hmm.
It is a normal process of aging,
Hmm.
and we don't have to suffer quite so much.
Right.
And this is where really being an advocate for yourself and don't gaslight yourself. Continue to say, if you're not getting answers from your doctor, it is an opportunity to say, well, I would like to see another doctor. Now, there are, through Menopause Society, there are a bunch of doctors who have gone through additional training, have taken extra courses, and have to stay on top of the continuing education, and they're part of like a recommended list of doctors that you can see that won't gaslight you, know how to diagnose and know how to help move you through that. And at the same time, there's probably not nearly enough in that database for everybody in every area, or that they actually have openings and can see people.
Right. So how do you feel, or have you socialized with anyone personally who has gone through like those programs like MIDI or For Her or all those different um I don't know what you would call them, those other, they're
Like
not
functional
doctors,
health
they're like,
options, or
yeah, the other
yeah,
options to get relief from these
yeah.
perimenopause and menopause symptoms. Have you have you talked to anyone, or have you known anybody who actually goes through any of those programs and has seen a difference or felt better? I mean, of course, the reviews that you see them everywhere, and everybody's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I feel so much better." But how do you know it's right for you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like kind of with many other things, you need to look and see, does it fit for you? Can you get those kinds of services in your area? They are widespread, but they're not necessarily everywhere for everybody. Sometimes there's additional fees associated with it. I know MIDI says that it'll be covered by your insurance, but how do you get to that point? Like, sometimes there are, especially here in the States, there's a lot of like holdups within the, health insurance
Hmm.
and that kind of stuff. I do have clients that have gone through with some of those kinds of things, MIDI, functional or function health, for her is different. Those are more focusing on the peptides and hormones and those kinds of things. You do have to have a consultation with a doctor, but it's, to my understanding, it's a little bit more broad than specific. But don't quote
It's
me
like
on
a
that.
telehealth appointment or something, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, I I recently had my, well, I was supposed to be an annual, didn't get all the things done, but I did ask because I have a general practitioner, um, and she, and I brought up the question because I said, okay, well, this is what I'd like to kind of document like what I'm doing because I know what other people do, and it'd be interesting to see like what are the answers that I'm getting as I start to bring this up. And again, like the answers I've gotten in the past is kind of what brought us to this podcast. Oh, that's kind of normal for your age. You'll see some hormone fluctuations, you'll see some mood fluctuations, you'll have those 3 a.m. wake ups, and that's what she told me before. This time I said, like, what do you think about hormones? Like, what do you recommend here? And she's like, well, if you'd like to talk to a gynecologist, you can. I said, okay. I would
But
like to,
sometimes they
please.
won't even help. You know, it depends on
Sometimes they won't.
what OBGYN you go to. I mean, some of them are, pro and some of them are not. So you
Well, and
got to
at the
find the
end of
right
the
one.
day, yeah, it's not up to them to be pro or con of like, on hormones or anything. It's for
Right.
them to provide you with the information and informed consent so that you can decide what you want to do best. I think, Dr. Mary Claire Haver, I was trying to make that all one word. She's on Instagram and she has well documented, like she was an OBGYN and she's like, I don't know. They would internally, and she wrote about it in her book, internally diagnose women as like FFs, fat and 50, or I think there was another F in there.
Ouch.
Yeah, internally, not to clients' faces or patients' faces, but it was like, oh, they're over 50, they're fat, and yeah, we don't know. We just say, oh, just diet and exercise, not how
But
to
that's
diet,
very
not how to
good,
exercise.
right?
Yeah,
Oh my God. I
yeah.
wonder what the other F is. I can guess.
It's like crazy or something like that, something
Sure.
along those lines. I forget what exactly it was,
Feral.
but yeah, well documented. And she said I got to a point as I started to go through. She's probably she's at least 10 years older than me, and she's like, when I got to my journey, I was like, oh, this isn't good.
Yeah.
She self proclaims I was probably one of the worst providers for women. When she realized the deficiencies, that's where she kind of went forward and has learned a lot. And she's part of the menopause societies and pushing, knowledge and studies and that kind of stuff forward. So if someone who is an actual OBGYN was giving, oh yeah, just, diet and exercise, you'll get over it, and didn't feel like it was supportive enough for her, that's it's one person, but it's a pretty good indicator of the profession as a whole.
Yeah. Pretty eye-opening.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one of the reasons, excuse me, I stopped seeing the physician that I was seeing because um, she's so busy that I ended up seeing her physician's assistant all the time. And this child, I can only describe as a child, sweetest little thing, but 11 teen, never had any children yet, like, hasn't gone through any of the hormonal changes of all those things that happen. Like, if you don't have any experience, like personally, I think that it makes a difference. Like, a doctor who has experienced it should be somebody who would be more of an advocate. You would think anyway, but where do you find those doctors? You know?
Yeah, and I think that part of it is experience. I do think that like you could have somebody who's a younger doctor, but it's kind of like are they in a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? Is kind of like where it comes down to. If they're like, nope, that's just normal for your age, you're good, like that's it, that it doesn't give you anywhere to go. If they're like, you know what, to be perfectly honest, we haven't really studied a whole lot of that. We focus as, and I'm trying to keep in my lane and not go too far down like a handmaiden's path, but they focus on fertility. And not and that's probably even broader. It's like, how do like we deal with a pregnancy? How do we
Oh
deal with
yeah.
a pregnancy, and that's it. Like having a healthy pregnancy, and then once that baby's out, then hands off,
Your problem.
and that's it. That's your problem now, but have that baby. It's,
What kind of birth
it's
control are you
kind of
going to be
crazy.
using?
Yeah. It's, yeah, you
Oh,
have the baby, or you're, it's fairly, um I don't know. Again, maybe that's going down a different path, but birth control is mostly, I would say, widely accepted,
yeah.
but
I
maybe not.
remember I was really, I was really not, I mean, kind of off subject, but I remember when I was pregnant with my first, and I was 35 when I had my first baby. So I was considered like a geriatric pregnancy or whatever they
Geriatric
called it.
pregnancy.
So insulting, but
Yeah.
it really didn't matter. But I remember going for like my second or third exam into my pregnancy, and the doctor literally asked me what type of birth control I would be using after I had the baby. And I was like,
Yeah.
I haven't even been thinking about birth control. I mean, literally,
Yeah. I'm pretty controlled right now.
I don't think I could get any more pregnant than I already am. So, I'm
Yeah.
pretty good now for a few months at least.
Thank
So,
God. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
can't, right? But, but
But I
I just
mean,
thought that was
yeah.
so strange. I was like, I don't, what? I'm not sure. Didn't think about it. But yeah, you're right. The OBGYNs are generally about getting pregnant, having a healthy pregnancy, and then delivering the baby. And you're right. After that, it's on a,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah. And maybe like I forget, like a 6-month checkup after to make sure everything's okay, or 3-month.
a
I forget.
few
It
months,
was like 30 years ago.
right?
It feels like forever ago. I wasn't in charge of my brain, my cognitive capacity at that time.
Still not. When will I be in charge of my own brain again?
Oh my
Um,
gosh, I know.
so, what I wanted to do is, while we're talking about this, I would love to invite the women who are watching us to put in our comments and like if you have experienced any of these services or these programs that offer like the perimenopause and menopause treatments and stuff, I want to know like real people's opinions. Like, of course, you can see the interviews and the reviews on Instagram and TikTok or whatever, but that could I don't always trust that all the time because it could be partially marketing, mostly marketing. You hear all the like good stuff, of course, but I want to hear
Yeah,
like real women's opinions and experiences. So if you ladies are
yeah,
watching this, put it in the comments because I want to hear it. Because I'm looking for something for me. I am so scared to take that first step. One, I don't want to invest in something that's not going to work because it is out of
exactly.
pocket. Insurance does not cover it. Mine doesn't anyway. They'll cover if my husband was low in testosterone, they would pay for that all day long. But
Mm-hmm.
not me, not for women. They don't cover that kind of stuff. So I want to hear like what people's opinions are and like, you know, just get a
Yeah,
little real
let us
real
know.
world view.
Help us out.
Huh?
Did I said, let us know. Did
Let us
I
know.
send you the there was an Instagram something that came up, and it was like a drug ad, like a parody drug ad, and it's like all these guys saying stuff, and the woman's like, "Oh, yeah, it's okay." Did I send that to you?
I don't know. I don't know. I've seen
It
stuff
was so
like that
funny
though.
because Yeah, because it was like these four different guys, and it's like, yeah, I take medicine, and it works really great for me. I can move well, and I can sleep well. And the woman's like, oh my gosh, it hurts so bad, and she's like
It's time.
freaking out. And at the end of it, she like passes out, and the guys are like, medicine. Ask your doctor if it's right for you. And I was like, oh my god, that is it. That is
I
our
don't know.
healthcare
I
in
read
a
a really
nutshell, right
disturbing
there.
statement the other day how they discontinued the research or the development of male birth control because of the side effects. And the side effects were mood swings, headache,
Oh,
nausea,
oh.
um, blood clots, um, and something else. And I was, and then
So all the things you can
then
get
it
from
listed
female birth control?
the the side effects for female birth control is mood swings, nausea, headaches, you know, blood clots. And the fact is, men are fertile 24/7, all the time,
Yeah.
every day. And we are only fertile 6 days,
Excuse me.
6 days a month if we are lucky. 6 days a month
Yeah.
we are fertile. So, but they still will not bring out.
Yeah.
I thought that there was a male birth control in some other country, but I can't remember if that was just something I dreamt or wished or.
Well, there was an episode. What's that show? The mom show that takes place in Canada. Oh, what's it called? I know we were watching it for a bit. They had a the main character who works for like it's her own marketing agency. She was working with the drug developer who was doing a male birth control. Is that what you're thinking of? What's that? What's it called?
I can't remember.
It's on Netflix. I
It
forget.
wasn't.
Working Moms?
Is it Working Moms?
Yeah, Working Mom. Is it? Yeah.
Okay. Yes, she was in marketing. That's right. Or she was in advertising.
Yeah. Advertising. Yeah. Yeah. And it was a male birth control that, like, I
It made
think,
his like boobs hurt or something. Like it gave him breast tenderness and he was freaking out.
yeah. Yeah. There was
Don't touch
something.
my nipples. Like his
Yeah.
nipples were like super something about it
Yeah. And he
being
was like
over.
crying
Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
No.
And it's like, welcome to the party. Like, this, it will, yeah.
I feel like there was some movie or something where she was putting something in his smoothies every morning to get back at him for something. I can't remember. And he was putting like estrogen or something in his smoothie in the morning.
Yeah.
He'd be like
Yeah. I
crying.
think, because I think he cheated on her, but then they decided to work it out. They got back together. Yeah, something like that.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
Is that the same
fun
one?
stuff.
That's funny. If I had a
Yeah,
working Monday, it would be even funnier. But yeah.
yeah,
So
it's super funny.
yeah. So getting back to it, like if you feel like you're in menopause or perimenopause rather, and you're having those symptoms, like it's not something that we should ignore because there are health issues that are
Right.
attached to uh, these drops in estrogen and progesterone and stuff. You know, it affects our bone density. It affects our, heart health, and
Yep.
it leaves us.
Brain health.
Yep, our brain health. Exactly. I forgot that one.
That one. It's okay. It's just a small thing.
I know it's
It's
just
just
a
your
little
brain.
thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, the more
Yeah.
I read and the more I research about it, I realize that we should be more proactive, and we have to, like you said, advocate for ourselves. So share with a friend, talk to somebody. Don't just try to tough it out because it's not necessary. You don't have to suffer. You can.
Yeah.
There is help out there. You just have to find the one that's right for you and the one that you want. And that's where I'm at right now, searching for the exact right one that I can afford, one that's gonna help me the way that I want it to. Because I don't
Yeah.
want to die. Not today.
Not yet, at
I
least. Yeah. Not
want to live
today. Not
healthy.
today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just another thing that we have to do, is advocate for our own health while we're making everybody else's doctor's appointments and
Buying everyone
packing the
else's meal
lunches,
kit.
doing the grocery
It's what you got
shopping.
to do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's empowering to take control where you can. Well, yeah,
It's necessary.
sure. Yeah, it really is. It's just didn't think that I was signing up to take control of it all. So, yeah,
You missed the fine print.
it's all good.
It's probably because your
Yeah, the
eyesight
terms and conditions.
perimenopause. Just it affects your eyesight so you
Yeah.
can't see the small print.
That's how they get you. That's how they get you.
That's
They're
how
like,
they
"Oh
get
yeah,
you.
seeing some
Totally.
changes in your eyesight? Sure, sign here." Giddy up.
That's funny.
How fun. Yeah, I mean, so yes, definitely advocate for yourself. And I think one of the other things is it is a good time to kind of recognize that nobody else is coming to save you. And so with that, there are the things that you can do. Like, don't sacrifice your own sleep to get all the things done. Don't skip meals because you're busy, because you still need to eat. Don't not move because your body craves movement. It was
Yeah.
built to move, it wants to move. Yeah. Just
We were
take
talking
care of
about
yourself.
advocating for yourself and getting your rest
Yeah.
and not sacrificing, good healthy meals and, that water and that movement and, everything that you need to do, you know,
Yeah.
not putting any of that aside just to get everything done for everyone else because of course we can go back to filling your cup before you can fill others. You cannot fill others' cups from an empty vessel. I'm an
You
empty
cannot.
vessel.
Yeah. Be a
Not
full
really.
vessel. Be full.
I'm a full vessel. I'm full of it. That's for sure.
I love it. Um, well, cool. So we talked about you can't diagnose perimenopause. It's kind of like if average age of menopause is in the US is like 52, and
Hmm.
so that's 7 to 10 years before 52. It's pretty much yes, it
Hmm.
is. Don't overthink it. Yes, and advocate for yourself to get the help that you need to support whatever your symptoms might be. Whether you decide to go a hormone route, whether you decide to go a different route or herbal route, or whatever, there are things that can help support you during this time. And it's not a made up thing. It's not an illness. It's not a it is just a normal part of aging, and that's okay. And so we just can mitigate the symptoms. It's not like there's something wrong with us. And I think those are some big things to kind of summarize with.
I
Anything
agree.
else? Anything else we would needed to cover today?
No, I think that's good. We finally got this put together. It's a long road.
With a what?
I said we finally got it together. It was a long road today for this episode with
Yeah,
everything going on. But
yeah, sure was.
for sure,
And
don't
so,
let anyone gaslight you and let you think that just because a doctor hasn't diagnosed you that you're not going through what you're going through. And
yeah,
find your support wherever you can, even if it's just coming here and talking to us. You know,
yeah, yeah,
the more that we talk about it, the more educated we become, and the more aware, and hopefully, the more help we'll get in the future. I mean, I
yeah,
feel like
and the
it's
less
getting
stigmatized.
better, but
Hmm.
there's still a long way to go for us to get where we need to be to get the support that we all need, because all of us need it. So there you go.
Yeah, we do. We do. Well, good stuff. Well, we'll wrap it up with our wins and what we're focused on for next week. What What's your win? What you looking to do in the next week?
I can't say I have a lot of wins this week. I have some growth experiences, but I'm not going to talk about them specifically. Um,
Sure.
um, I've grown this week. That's a win.
That's a huge
Next
win.
week,
Good for you.
we should grow even more. I'd like to get my whole family well, so everybody in the family, like, I feel like one member of my family has been sick like, a separate member every week for the last, like, I don't know, it's going on over a month now. So I'd like for all of us to get well, hopefully by spring break. So we're beefing up on the C and the zinc and the vitamins, putting the extra vegetables in our menu, and fruits, all the good fruits that are coming into season, and getting that sunshine and that water, and just gonna work on being healthier this next week. I'm actually feeling better. I still have this gross cough that I can't get rid of, but I think that's because the weather keeps changing and there's got to be stuff blooming in that canyon behind us. So it's
Oh,
a
for
thing.
sure. Yeah. Yeah.
How about
It's like
you?
a horror movie. The Bloom. um,
I know it is.
yeah. I would say my win is getting here to this point, getting this done. Uh, Not just to like get it done, but I look forward to every week getting to see you and like most of the time this is how we get to hang out. So I'm glad that we got to this. Um, so I'm calling that a win, and getting done. Oh yeah, and we found a place to live. So that is the other win.
And
Our
it's closer to me, so I'm
saga.
super excited.
Oh my
We're gonna live
gosh,
in the same
yes,
city
and
again. I'm so happy.
I know it will be so nice. We'll be able to go back to in person and get situated like that, which is just. I mean, that was the whole goal, that we could be in person
I
and hang
know.
out together. So yeah, so with that, got to get the moving done and get everything packed up and get over there, because by the end of this week we should be spending our first night in there. So
That's
yeah,
fantastic. I'm so excited for you guys. And
thanks,
Alejandro's
thanks.
super excited. He can't wait to have Jacoby like within like spitting distance. He's like planning bike rides and all sorts of stuff with him. He's like, I like Jacoby. He's a good kid. It's
Here's
so
a good
funny.
kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, like we said, let us know in the comments, what are you using, what's working for you. Let us know what you're struggling with, and we'll talk about it next time. And this is a community, so let's come together to help support ourselves. Okay?
All
Awesome.
right.
Bye.